completed the conquest of Oregon. Day change just happened and my troops are moving out. And I'm building harbors and railroads all over to boost my economy. Double resource provinces and single material resource provinces are my priority right now. And my economy is just booming. I'm definitely needing to now focus on troops, building a bunch of cavalry. I'm going to building one cavalry now, and I'm going to build 3 more because I have the food resources for that, which will be great. I'm building a tank, and it's coming out in a day and 9 hours. So those will be good shock troops, break enemy lines. And I'm trying to just build up my factories and start building units. Now, the plan is to rest today and reorganize. You can see there's arrows here and here. The ones in the south are going to be Army Group A and B's zoomed in location. They're at 100% morale, so they'll heal up. The top is A and B's artillery. Now this is an AI. I could be very aggressive like this, but I'm just trying to get the units out of these forts. And you can see they're building a level 3 fort here. Luckily I have 2 artillery. I've been watching my neighbors, and I think this episode would be a good time to analyze my neighbors. Start with the Californias. South California did what I wanted, but he did what I wanted so well that I'm not actually going to take him out right now. And the reasoning is North California took over South California's double food right here, and he hasn't taken it back. So I don't know if that defeat made him quit the game because I haven't seen any troop movements. So I'm being very risky and not guarding my border against South California now. I would like it for them to keep beating each other up since they were both healthy economies, with North California's AI countries at 89%, so not starving. South California's average morale at 91%, so again, not starving. I want to take all these provinces because these have 4 double resource provinces. 2, 3, 4. Be nice if they just keep hurting each other for a little bit longer. Especially if South California gives up, I'd like him to be an AI, and then we'll go from there, and I'll decide when to attack. Now in the north, it's been the Canadians, and it's been a little wild. British Columbia here moved to this island, and he's been there for quite a while. He's fighting Alberta. You can see Alberta right here. But they've been fighting each other for a very long time. I know Alberta's taking ground up here, but I'm not really too worried about Alberta. His average morale is 50%. He's expanding too aggressively. He's not building up his economy, and he's probably going to just commit suicide by bankruptcy. Now the rest is AIs until we get to the east. Now if I go east, I reach Missouri. Now Missouri is doing quite well. Missouri has 37 provinces. I believe he has the second most provinces in the game. Decent level, decent kills. Go to their service record, decent PvP kills, and I think he's building too many workshops relative to his recruitment offices. But overall, it's fine. Now, Missouri's situation's quite unique. First of all, he's attacking this AI, which totally makes my defensive line change. Now, originally, my defensive line against Missouri being right here, is you have to go through me here. So after this railroad was completed at this double food, I was going to build up the forts to level 3, which is happening soon. But now that he's taken here, which he's doing actually a bad job. Look at the attack. He attacked with Hank against a level 3 fort. He's lost 10 men. He's probably going to win this, but like the cavalry are wounded. He's a problem, but he's not a threat. If I could just focus on him and him only. So what I'm going to do is build a defensive line. Now, my defensive line is going to be like this, where I'll have forts built this way, and the honey traps are going to be here and here for him to invade, and then I can strike back in the forts. So I'm building up forts here. Now that I'm making an obscene amount of steel every day, I can afford to get my forts up to level 3 so they can start being invisible and hidden from the opponent. Another thing I noticed with Missouri is he doesn't have balloons. Now maybe he has balloons where I can't see him, but I have a balloon here. I still haven't been able to see any of his balloons. I don't see balloons. I don't know if he's a balloon fighter. You know, that's something I could check in the service record. Kills and deaths. Okay, no, he does make balloons. Maybe he's just hiding with his balloons. Who knows? Second, out of all his provinces, he only has 3 double resource provinces. And you're like, Squid, that doesn't make sense. He has over 30 provinces. Well, he's actually just been taking out every single AI country next to him. Starting AI country. He did take this food from Oklahoma when Texas and Oklahoma were fighting, but that's not impressive. And I think his economy is quite weak. Now, yesterday, day 10, I was looking at the stats and largest economy. I'm doing quite well, but here's Missouri. He's the second biggest economy, 100K tons. And I was just doing some basic math with the calculator, and I'm like, okay, you know, he has 100K resources here, and I'm dividing it by this 37, and then I'm getting like 2,700 per province. But then I'm like, okay, well, 2,400 resources per province gives you 300 resources. net, so he's not going bankrupt. But then I'm like, okay, the 300 resources and the 37 provinces, I multiply them, and I'm net 11,100 net resources. Yeah, I said that, 11,100 net resources. That's nothing. That's very bad. Just to give an example, I look over at my steel, which is doing really well, but my steel is almost 20,000. I'm getting 20,000 steel a day. He's getting net 11,000 of all the resource types. I'm thinking, maybe he's a threat, but not too much of a threat. And he's actually helping me out. Now, how is Missouri helping me out? I've decided to put a spy here in Texas, but it'll take some days to gather intel. But I don't think they're colluding together. And I need to have Missouri have this long open border with Texas, because that will get Texans to guard this border and divert resources and time. And I'm willing, with my 20,000 steel a day, build some level 3 forts and put some, Squid Bois on the front line. That'll be fine to guard. But Texas is part of the main threat. Now there's Texas, West Mexico here, West Mexico, and South Mexico. And these guys are in the biggest coalition. They're my biggest threat. And I'm trying to come up with some grand strategy. Now, I think Missouri's part of that, as long as he's not colluding with Texas. But my thinking is I have these two AI countries that give me right-of-way access. And I need to do something very bold when I strike at them. But let's first look at their stats. So Texas, okay, kill ratio. Oklahoma sneak attacked him, and he won against him. So that was pretty good, being attacked by someone. PvP is not great, but it could be a lot worse. And his building's fine. So Texas, I would say, is an average player. In a team, he'll probably be pretty decent. West Mexico. Now, West Mexico is the strongest of the three. Good kill ratio, high level, good PvP kill. I could go on, but he's the biggest threat. And then there's South Mexico. I believe South Mexico is the weakest of the three. Decent kills right now, though, and he's a lower level, and his PvP kills the worst. So I'm not expecting him to be big of a threat. But that's what I have. So I have these people, and I kind of want to do something sneaky. Now let me just tell you my plan. So pretend I've taken over who I'm taking over. Taking over this Wyoming to get this double material tomorrow, and I may or may not finish these guys off right now, but I'm thinking I use these AI countries like I spoke about before. And you can see here that Texas has a fort, not a big one, but the worst and the best part about this is this long distance. He'll see me coming. Not much I can do about it. But now that I have this AI country that I can move around in, I was thinking, why not just sack his capital? Oh, you can see his capital is a level 3 fort. I guess my spy showed me that. My spy did show me that. Okay. Well, that might be a little difficult, but I have the artillery for that. But my thinking is this. So I go in with an army here. We move through the AI country and smack him right here and go south and try to just sneak in and hit his capital by surprise. Now, him having a level 3 fort might make that difficult, but I think it definitely would keep him off guard and catch him off guard. And then I turn back around and go home. I still have my fort here to keep me safe, but then what do? I like knock out Texas with a capital punch. Texas economy sinks. What would that do? First of all, it'd get West Mexico, both Mexicos up here to mess with me, to fight me, right? Trying to get revenge. Texas may build a new capital. They'll retake the territory. His economy will go down the drain. And Missouri may take that as an opportunity to invade and take over territory. Maybe. That would be great. Next, phase 2. Phase 2 is going down to Sonora. As they move up north here, I move south through Sonora and take out the real threat, BB John, at West Mexico. But here is where I make my stand. And I take out and expand this way through Sonora. Now that's my thinking. This level 3 fort's a bummer, but honestly, I'm going to have so much artillery and tanks, it may not matter. And the surprise. And having a spy here. I may be able to get more intel and see what he's doing. But that'll be over time. I think that would be a great fight. And besides Georgia and maybe West Quebec, there's not too many other potential fights. So this is it, which is a lot. The Tex-Mex team and Missouri. And honestly, my army's not big. I know I've shown this before, but this is 2-3 days ago. Yeah, it's day 11 now. This is day 8's newspaper here. And you can see I'm 7th biggest army, not the first biggest army, because I spent a lot of resources into my economy, and now's the time for my economy to give me more units. And I'm going to roll out the tanks, the artillery, and the cavalry, and I'm just going to roll in, take out the South. Now, as my forces get closer to taking out North Wyoming, I noticed something interesting, and that's Missouri and Illinois. Now you can see there's smokestacks going. Here and here, Illinois is taking ground. And it got me to thinking, who started the war? So I go look at the newspaper, and we're on day 12, but I moved it to day 11 here. And here we see war declared. Username blah 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 made it clear today that Lakinus should expect the harshest possibility. Illinois declared war on him. That's so bold. And you can see he's getting taken down. Now, what am I thinking about this? Well, my plan has changed. I'm still going to do Texas, South Mexico attack. I need to be quick on that. So in the coming days, things are really going to escalate. But I'm now moving my rally point here to Denver. And I'm going to, once these troops have taken this AI here, I'm going to relocate them here. Now, what is my plan? Well, let's look at Illinois. So Illinois just started their first war. Their level is low, level 4. They don't have the greatest PvP skill. So what do I want to do? I want to make sure Illinois gets the greatest advantage possible. And how do I do that? Well, now's the perfect time to sack the capital. In the next day or two from Denver, I'm going to go and smack the capital, Jefferson City, and then turn around. Now, why am I doing that? Well, we discussed earlier with Missouri, he's taken over just AIs, excluding Oklahoma's Grove right here, which is double resource province. So he only has 3 double resource provinces. 1, 2, and then he just lost this one, 3. So what does that tell me if I were to sack his capital? His average morale and the amount of resources he produced when we were looking at the day 10 largest economy, remember, at 100K. This tells me if I take his capital, he's going to go bankrupt. Now, I could just maybe hope that Illinois does that, but we'll find out. Let's prepare now. And I think I can make a really quick snipe just for his capital and come back home. And when I come back home, that's when I start taking out this coalition.